Great. So go ahead and play with like moving around your body. Play with angles. Play with like leaning in towards the camera. What is it like when you get close to the lens? And I'll be your focal point.
Okay.
So like if you're like in a scene, like lean in close to me. See what that's like. Lean way back. Like lean way back. See what that's like. Play with like turning your body this way and this way. See what that's like. Move around a little bit. Feel like you're in a room. You know.
Hey.
Pretend that there's a shelf behind you. Pick up the phone on the shelf, and again, you don't have to keep your body totally torqued forward. You can feel like you have the freedom to show the camera your back. See what that's like. Yeah, turn the other way. So you can kind of like find that freedom of movement. Yeah, so generally if you're kind of staying on top of your mark, you can pretty much do whatever you want. You can kind of like have a nice, as long as you, and so now do this, now really move like really far left. And again, try not to watch yourself. And move really far to the right. Right? So you're getting a sense of like, that's probably too far. And again, you can kind of get the feeling of like where your mark is, kind of like in the bottom periphery. So you can kind of feel like, this is probably off the mark, I'm probably off the mark. Great, so what did you, so go ahead and relax on the mark. Your feet are really like, whoo. Just feel like you can just stand there. And again, the mark is just telling you this is where you are. This is where you are in the optimum angle for this particular shot. What did you do yesterday?
I went home and I made some phone calls. And
What kind of phone calls?
like to my grandfather. I had some paperwork he asked me to do for him.
Oh, you had to do paperwork?
Yes.
What kind of paperwork?
Well, he's in a nursing home, and some of the stuff he doesn't understand, he asked me to read through it first before he signs it off to them, or if they need to give him medication or something that's new, I usually have to take a look at it for him first. Mm-hmm. So he wanted me to look over some new medicine they want to administrate to him at the nursing home, and I told him I need to see it first. Mm. And then I was.
That's very responsible. That's tough. That's a very like responsible role that you're in.
Well, when you love someone, you have to make sure you do what you can for them. Mm-hmm. So yeah. But then what was funny was I pulled all of my books out and everything, getting ready to, after I made the call for him, spoke to a friend. I said, okay, I'm getting ready to look at some paperwork. And I set the books on my lap, and something told me not to do it, but I set the books on my leg, and I said, okay, fine. 5 minutes, I'm going to get to this work right here, and I did it just like this.
You just fell asleep?
Next time I opened my eyes, it was 3 a.m. in the morning.
Uh-huh.
And
oh no.
I was like, oh shit, I gotta get to this fucking work. So I spent my morning trying to catch up on stuff from not even realizing I fell asleep.
Hmm. What kind of things do you like to do just like in your free time?
My free time? A lot of things.
Yeah.
A lot. Well, I like to dance. I like to sing.
You like to dance? What kind of dance do you do?
I did R&B, jazz. I did a little bit of classical, a small touch of ballet, and some other things. And you know, I wind up I danced for Mary J. Blige before. So.
Oh, really? What was that? Tell me that story.
Well, when I was modeling and stuff, on the application they asked you, can you dance? And I got sent to the music video casting, and I got casted as a dancer model in the video, and I danced for her. So.
Okay, so it's through a casting.
Yeah, through a casting, and some other stuff. But what I really love to do different from telling stories through people I talk. I love the youth, like to educate them, especially on.
Have you worked with the youth a lot?
Well, I made myself, during modeling, in my community, I saw, once I learned about mental health and some of the things that took some of the kids off the ground, I started a youth organization called the Inspire the Youth Organization, to where I used my experience with fashion and talent to produce a showcase involving fashion to promote mental health awareness. Diabetes, my friend died of diabetes at 29 years old, and that was my best friend. That hurted me for a long time. And nonviolence, I'm a victim of gang violence. Promoting for the showcase, I wind up running into a group of bloods that was looking to initiate someone. So as I turned around to walk off, they kind of jumped me, and I had constructive surgery. And I don't want any other kids to really feel like that. And homelessness. A lot of the kids are going out on the streets homeless. Some of it stemmed from mental health awareness. Some of it stemmed from mental health awareness. So that's what I do. I love to speak to young kids that doesn't know about mental health awareness and tell them, it gives them some sort of power that, as they're growing in their greatness, if they don't pay attention to that could take them off their ground, knowing how their mind works. So that's what I really love to do.
Tell me about a moment, and again, try and stay with me as much as possible. Again, you'll see later, like the eye line is really nice.
Okay.
When we can really see your eyes.
Okay.
Tell me about like a moment of like profound joy. Just one. It doesn't have to be like the most joyous moment ever in your life. Just something that like when you felt like a lot of joy, and see how much you can like you're remembering it, but see how much you can keep in like my eyes when you're telling me.
Okay. So the first show I decided to produce in the area where I am, which there's a lot of arrestedly developed behavior in that area, especially with the young adults and young kids that doesn't know, that don't really get out of the community,
Yeah.
As I set up the first show, I knew nothing about producing, putting a show together. I just got up and it just hit me one day, like, go start the show, get your tax ID, produce a showcase, use fashion and talent to inspire the kids. But in setting it up, there was a lot of obstacles. One, I had no team. The help that I needed, I didn't have no budget to do it, none at all. And some of the people in the community or the neighborhood I was doing it in, they wasn't really a part of, they didn't believe in it, wasn't a part of it. So you had people ripping down the flyers and doing all type of that stuff. They were taking like the posters. I got my friend at Big Pictures that make the big prints for the movies. She donated Inspire the Youth first annual fashion show promoting nonviolence. They took that and they tore it up and they cut it in half. And they just was, the kids, they were just doing awful stuff, disbelievers. So finally, when 2 days before the showcase, I was gonna do it for like a street fair block party, produce the showcase, have some model friends and hairstylist makeup come through. So the block association president, they knew the block party they canceled the block party.
Yeah.
Purposely, just to make sure that I didn't produce this event. So 2 days before, after working so hard, the block association president comes downstairs and said, "Oh, we forgot to tell you. The block party is canceled, and we're so sorry. Give us a hug. We know you worked so hard to produce a showcase, but you can't have a showcase and there's no block party." So I said, "What? Are you crazy? You knew this for 2 weeks and you didn't tell me?" And it just like almost shot down my whole dream. And I thought real quick, so there's a community center across the street named Menacing Townhouse, and I walked in there and I told them, "Look, I do this model and have my own setup. But I really wanted to set this up for the kids in the neighborhood as an appreciative of it. The Block Association president knew this block fair was shut down for 2 weeks and wait 2 days before to see the surprise on my face, and she ruined it. And I can't let the children down. We have all this set up. It's right across from here. She said, you know what? I saw you putting up your posters and stuff. You supported this community center, and guess what? We're going to give you this building for free and everything you need, and we're going to make an announcement for you right now. We will not let kids down. We don't. And she called the whole staff and everyone in the building, said, you see this young man here? You ought to give him everything that he needs. He's 1.5 days away from producing a showcase. And she said, well, go right across the street and you're going to put up another big sign, which we're going to sponsor, that everyone that's interested in seeing it, all they have to do is walk straight across the street. Now, there you go, and gave me the entire building. So it was like, and then when I went home, I had a dream. I saw all the kids and everyone coming to the show, and they were so happy. And I was just woke up like, yeah! And that was really sweet to me.
Wow, that's beautiful. Great. I love it.
Thanks.
Good. Good.